started a new thing. I was talking about it in BlogTV, and we kind of decided that there's a lot of stuff that you all want me to make videos about that are not related to weight loss. So I thought, why don't we start a new thing where every Wednesday in BlogTV there's like a popular theme, and then whatever is kind of the popular vote will become the topic for the video on Saturday. And every Saturday we'll come out with a video that's popular requests or whatever. So this week it's organization. With the weight loss losers topic this week being tracking, I was talking in my BlogTV show about the different ways that I track the balance of my life, and everybody got so interested, and we started talking about all the different systems for managing your life. So I thought I would make a video, since a lot of people were interested, on how I organize all the aspects of my life. I've got business and I've got personal life. So I'm going to go over business first because I can just knock through it because there's only two things. And then we'll go into the millions of ways that I track my personal life. First and foremost, the problem with most people's organization skills with their organizational system is that they're too convoluted, or they're too complicated, or they're way overthought, or they're not easily accessible. And so they don't actually organize your life because you spend all this time trying to make the organization system work. So the cardinal rule of an organizational system is 1, it has to be simple. And number 2, it has to be intuitive. Those are the rules I live by. I am not going to work with a system that's not based on intuition, something I naturally would go to do, and I'm not going to work with something that's not simple. Anything that's overcomplicated, you spend more time organizing than you do actually getting things done. So the system has to work for you. You never want to copy somebody else's system just because it looks good. You want to make a system that works with you. If you work better with handwritten or better with electronic, you have to figure out what works for you. But you certainly don't want to have multiple systems. Like, I track everything in this thing and here, because then you're just repeating your work over and over. So with that said, I have 2 things when I organize my business, and I do this with every business. I'm just going to make one example for the one I've run the longest, Marshall Speech and Language. That business has 2 notebooks, this one and this one. The entire history of this business since I started working for my mom, is in this book. The book it's just a big leather-bound thing. When you open it up, it's got this is stuff just so when I go to meetings I've got cards and things. But here, in the first section, it has the passwords and email accounts and locations of every single account I've ever opened with the business. Bank accounts, credit cards, PayPal account, Twitter account, whatever. Everything is stored in these pages, and I'm not going to let you see them because that's everything. But there's pages and pages and pages. When we have a price change, I have a listing of every single product, how much it costs for retail, how much we sell it for on Amazon, how much is in the summer sale, how much at a workshop discount, how much at a wholesale discount, how much at a bulk discount. And every time we change prices, I make a new chart, and I have tracking of all the different prices. Then the second section is the one that's really important because there's a lot of sections tracking stuff. But the second section is something that I call new plan. And every couple of months, my mom and I sit down and we talk about the new plan. And we have a new plan every couple of months. I just have pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. We're finally into 09 now. New plan, new plan, new plan. And what happens is the top section is stuff to do now, stuff to finish within the next maybe month or 2. Then we talk about, okay, what are we going to do within the next 4 to 6 months? And then the bottom is like long term, like future, things that, this is all kind of leading to. And every time you make a new plan, the next one, the stuff has moved up. So the stuff that was 6 months away is now 3 months away. And this is just a great way to look at the overarching trends of the business and make sure that you're always on track. And the last thing that I have is every time I do a project, every time I design a new product, anything like that, the specs of every single product, the dimensions, the fonts, the colors, the weight of the paper, everything is tracked. So that basically everything I've ever done for the business, everything that's ever been said or discussed or agreed upon is right here on record. And it's a great way to keep track of the business in an overarching theme. And I have a notebook like this for every business that I run. The other thing is I have a daily diary, and on the outside it has a little to-do list, and this is just sort of the running stuff that needs to be done outside of the daily things that need to be done. And then every day, I write down all the work that I did on that day. And it's just a little itemized list of all the work that was done on that day. And I've got one for every year I've worked for the business, and I just bought my 2010 one. I just buy one every year, and that's how I track my work. Now, moving on to personal life, I track so many things, but there's a couple big arcing systems that I use. First of all, I have a calendar. I use iCal, and I also use Google Calendar, and they sync with each other. So everything that's social life syncs onto Google, and then my friends who I'm sharing my calendar with can make sure that they can do things on dates with me and things like that. In terms of day-to-day, I make charts like this: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, etc. And I find that having one huge to-do list from top to bottom is like impossible to manage, because you just see so many things happening, and there's just a million different priorities going on within the list. And you look at the list and you go, I can't do all this, and you should just pick one random thing, and it's usually a really low priority thing, and you just do it like, okay, I'll just go organize the sock drawer. And you just try to knock things off, but nothing's done by priority. So what I do is when I think of something that has to be done, I put it on the list. And I put it on the day. So I've always got something standing here that's got like, I made this list on Wednesday. So Wednesday's got the most, because that's everything I'm going to do Wednesday. Then Thursday's got some, Friday's got some, and then Saturday and Sunday kind of fall down here because there are a few days in the future and they're not quite filled out. So sometimes people capture their to-do list items by, what category they're under, like home or errands or friends, or they put their to-do list items by priority, like these are the most important things over all aspects of life. But I just do them by day. So when something comes up and it needs to be done, I look at my day and I go, can I fit it in on Wednesday? Probably not. So I'll drop it in Thursday. Or if I know Thursday I'm busy all day, I'll drop it in Friday. And that gives me a solid plan. So even though I know I have a million things to do, and there's never going to stop being a million things to do, all I have to do is look at today. I don't have to worry about all the other things that must be done because I already assigned another day to them. So that's one really big tool that I use to organize my life. And when I am on the road and I don't have that paper with me, I have a little app in my phone. There's a million of them, so I'm not going to give you a name. There's a million of them, but I just have an app. There's a quick capture to-do app, and I just write in the thing that I thought of. And when I get home, I take everything from that app and I dump it onto that list. So I have a very quick capture way of gathering things when I'm on the road. And sometimes I use the voice recording app on my phone too. Like when I had a car, when I was driving, I would just record. I would say, oh, and I have to, take the cat to the vet on this date. And when I get home, it just gets transferred onto the list. And then that way, everything that passes through my mind that must be done gets dumped onto the list. Now, everybody knows that on my iPhone, I track my calories, my exercise in terms of calories, my exercise in terms of how far I went and how long it took me and all the sort of exercisey things. I track my weight, I track my period, and I track my budget. And I use a whole bunch of different apps, and I'll put them all in the sidebar. But I track everything there. Every time I spend something, I go in the app for my budget and I enter the amount, so I know that I'm on track with my budget. Every time that I eat something, I put it in the thing. Every time that I weigh in, I put it in the thing. And everything is just tracked there. Every time I have a period, I put it in the thing, so I know when the next one's going to come, because I don't have room in my brain to remember when my next period is coming. And then the other thing that I've been doing lately, and this is brand new, is I'm doing a balance journal to just make sure I kind of get everything done in the day. And this is how it looks. And I'm just, right now, I change this all the time because it depends on my mood all the time. Right now, my priorities are to get 5 fruit and veg a day, and all my water, stay below 1,200 calories, get in some exercise, and then work for at least 2 of my 3 primary businesses: Menstrual, speech and language, antishay weight loss, and heart weight loss. So right here, I fill in when I've had my fruit, my veg, if I did exercise, if my calories were below 1,200, if I drank at least 60 ounces of water, and then here's my 3 businesses, and then if I spent time with myself. And then if at the end of the day I go through and the ones that I accomplished the most of, they get stars. So, for example, Wednesday was a perfect day. And then other is like if I just spent some time doing something not on any list, but just time for myself, watching a TV show that I'm watching through, or a movie, or working on my fashion design or decorating my apartment or playing with my cat or going out to dinner with friends. That other category is like when I spend time on myself. And ideally, I get 5 stars a day. Like yesterday, or on Thursday, I didn't exercise, so I didn't get the star. But if I get 4 or 5 stars a day, that means that I've really balanced myself. I've actually done a little bit in every part of my life and done as much on this list as I had to check off that box for that day. There's a million other ways that I also organize my life. I employ the Inbox Zero program in my inbox, so that's why my emails are always taken care of, even if they're not necessarily responded. They have a place where they've gone. And I track things I'm grateful for. It's kind of like having a diary, but at the end of the day, when I get home, I sit down and I fill out just a list of everything that I was grateful for that day. Even if it's been the shittiest day in the world, I write down everything that I'm thankful for. So basically every aspect of my life is tracked and or managed. My email is managed, my calendar is managed, my work is documented, short-term and long-term, my budget is documented, my food is documented, my exercise is documented, and my time for myself is regulated so that I actually chill the fuck out and have a good time sometimes. So that's how I organize my life. If you have questions, leave them in the comments and I will be answering all of the questions down below. Bye!